I was very blessed to have parents like that. She was a great mom all my life. She was always there for us, and my dad was always there for us, Yeah,
they always stayed together. Nobody ever walked out once. When you go through hard times, you're not making or bringing any money in the early 60s to stay together. I mean, today people they're done at the first chance they get. No bonding means nothing.
My mother's probably the biggest fan. She really appreciates, all his work, and thank God for the two of them together. They make a great team. Him as the artist and her as the business end.
So she started to take an interest in, boy, she's taken away. She can really go now. She's a gangbuster now. In fact, I can't even get into my own museum. It's the truth. I can't get into my own museum.
I think I was around 71. She wanted to expand this business and started out with 5 posters. And she became a wholesaler. And I was thinking within a year she had 20, and then she had 30, and then she had 50 and 80, and she was on her way.
One key, I swear to God. And she means it. She one key, that's all this. She's got it, I know, but she won't give it to me.
You see him, he doesn't get a key because he would go take something good off.
That's why. That's it.
He don't get no key.
She thinks I'm probably gonna swipe paintings or something. I don't know what else she has in mind.
And I truly believe she's the one that made it what it is today. Of course, she couldn't have done it if it wasn't for his artwork, but I also feel that he wouldn't be known and where he is today if it weren't for her. I think she was a lot of fun, wild, crazy, just a lot of fun. Probably every man's dream, I would have to say.
I had a motorcycle, and we went everywhere. Did what you please, None of your business what we did. I like those days. Those are the good days.
When you look at photographs of them both when they were younger, I could see why they definitely went for one another. I mean, my mother was a knockout. She had a body that nobody else had. She was like a Marilyn Monroe back then, They made a great couple.
Let's see, she was about 16 and a half. And she lied about her age, and I was 24, 23, I don't know, around that age. You ever hear of Nathan's? They're famous for their hot dogs, everybody goes to Nathan's. So I was with a friend of mine, and I pointed look at that, see that girl? I know that girl. That girl skates at a certain skating rink and so on. And she saw me pointing, came running over to me. Well, but I was used to it then. And she said, "You talking about me?" Oh boy! So that was the end. Oh, we decided to get married. And in those days, if you waited 4 years, you were awful. You were a terrible guy, big rat, Now, everybody waits more than 4 years, and they wait 10 years. It's a shame. I should know it now, but if I knew that, I'd have been single now. I think. Kidding, Ellie.
We all definitely benefited from having a stay-at-home mother, stay-at-home father. And they were both always there for us. We were included in everything, all the conventions and Hollywood parties, everything that came up, we were invited to, and they never left us out.
No matter what, you talk to anybody with a famous parent, and no, that was just mom or dad. And yeah, when you get older, you realize what a tremendous talent.
Yeah, I really love those kids more than anything. I'll tell you the truth. More than anything.
He never criticized us kids when we drew, or he never put us down or said, well, this is how you do it right, or he just encouraged us and gave us confidence.
I didn't want to be an artist. He wanted me to follow in his footsteps because he said I had the natural gift that he'd had to be as good as him, but I didn't love to do it. I didn't have the desire. I used to draw little ant drawings in the 80s and the 70s. And then he gave me a book on anatomy that he did in 2 nights. That was a total turnoff because I did maybe 4 or 5 pages of an arm like this, and then you move the arm like this and you can throw away everything you just learned. It was like trigonometry. It's like, I don't need this. And plus, I'd always be compared with my father. That was the other downside. And there was no way I could become that. It's just, oh, he's not as good as his father, and I'm a little too sensitive to hear that every day.
I would have loved to have been able to draw like that. Even today, I still kind of, you know, boot myself in the ass a little bit and wish I was able to draw like him, and wished I would have taken lessons up. You know, but at times I also thought to myself, you know, one great artist in the family is really enough, you know, and see if we can spread other things out a little bit.
They didn't want to. They looked at my stuff and they said, that's too good, I heck with it. That's the attitude they had. They just didn't give a damn. These kids, my grandchildren, they come in, they sit there and help themselves. It's great. But, you know, it goes that way. It skips your own generation, and then you skip on to the next one, and you get a mob of the grandchildren that will follow suit. It's very strange.
He had his youngest daughter on his lap while he painted that picture. And he said, you know, of all my pictures, she loves this picture. As she was doing, walking around holding on to things. She hadn't walked yet. She just, you know, could do this. She's here, the painting's there. Frank and Ellie are out of the room, and the kid turns and walks to the painting and going,
Yeah.
Frank, you better get in here. Your daughter's walking. And she's walking toward that painting.
Mom and Dad always made everything fun. I mean, they, like I said, their attention was on us kids. Everything, we were the focal point. So when you have two parents doing that, life is really good.
Oh, it was fun. Oh, Jesus. It was more fun than you could shake a stick at. I'm not kidding. I just loved it. But they're all gone now. They're all married, and that's the way it goes. Always wanted the country. Always. Even though I took my sweet time about finding it. And when I found it, there I stayed. This was a total wreck. This place, a mess. And my wife looked at it, where were you going? You had to see it to believe it.
It was all old farmland, overgrown. The house was like in shambles and run down. We had confrontations with bats about every 3 days. And after coming from the city, you learned the tennis racket was the ideal weapon. We used to use pots, pan, and finally tennis racket was the best. We must have killed off hundreds of bats. Hey.
Cleaned it up, and we dolled it up, and we had fun. We suddenly realized, hey, this is fun. And it was great. It really was, you know, it was marvelous. Climbing trees, so on and so forth. Good stuff. People come and visiting, you know, as people that visit the museum. You know, you hear them. Oh my goodness. They love it. They just love it. I've been there for, well, it was 28 years, and yeah, that's a long time. This place is about as gorgeous as you can get. Really.